Hi, hello. I just got back from my trip my trip to San Francisco, which I guess became a trip from San Francisco when I returned. Um, and I thought I would make a little retrospective video, talk about what I did, what I ate, what I bought, where I went, all of that good stuff. So I think probably the easiest way to kind of go through this is to look at this little album of photos I put together. How do I? Oh, I'm still in the creating album mode. So now it's created. Now we can look at them. Okay. So this is on the airplane. I wanted to make a Facebook post saying I'm off to San Francisco or something. So this is what I settled on choosing. I had to come up with something quick before my phone lost reception. This, of course, you gotta take this picture. The Welcome to San Francisco sign in the airport. I think every single airport has something like this, usually above a down escalator. It's nice. It feels good. Oh, I'm here. This is while I was waiting for my Uber outside of the airport. Thought it was pretty cool, the plane. The sky is ridiculously blue there. We had really nice weather. I was very blessed in that regard. And just the brightness of the sun, the rich gradient blueness of the sky, it never really gets old. This incredibly blurry picture was the first meal I had. I stayed in an Airbnb with a coworker for the first few days, and we ordered sushi on the first night because we just could not help ourselves. So some of the more exciting things, this is soft shell crab, which is quite a delicacy, at least in my part of the world. Something I hadn't had before, but really amazing. Basically, the crab's shell is so soft that you can just bite right through it. You can eat it. So the entire crab is deep fried. So good. And this, of course, is uni. That's all about the uni on this trip, eating it as many times as I could. This uni, though, a little disappointing. It was the first time I've ever had like mediocre uni, and I think it's when it gets too old, it starts taking on a bitter taste and it loses its sweetness. And I felt bad because my coworker had never had it before. And I was just like telling her, like, you should try it again. You should try it again. Like, this isn't the top of the line uni or anything. But it just blew me away that this was kind of like, this wasn't a super fancy sushi place or anything. It was a place you can get delivery from and such. And they still had uni on the menu. That just drove home to me the difference between eating seafood in a landlocked area and eating seafood on the coast. The very existence of like mediocre uni, that uni was just another offering. This just was another food on the menu that they didn't necessarily specialize in or anything was mind blowing. This is hotate scallop. That was really good. I was very impressed with the scallop. Some of the best raw scallop I've ever had, and some tuna. Here's a close-up of the uni and the scallop. It looks great. I guess the color is a little different than uni normally. This was outside of that Airbnb. This was in an area called Daly City, which is mostly kind of suburban residential, long streets like this. You can kind of see the hilliness just in the way that the houses kind of cascade up and down. Very pretty, I think, in a way that similar suburbs in well, this is still North America, in around me, this sort of suburb, it would look pretty similar, but everything would be flat. And just the slightly different feeling of the rolling hills, the slight gradient on all the roads, somehow makes it a lot more charming, a lot more exciting. This is another kind of shot of this Daly City area, taken from an Uber on our way to work. You can see the reflection of me holding my phone here. Very professional. Good pictures. I think there's quite a few more from Uber shots in here, so get used to it. But yeah, this kind of just shows you this sort of terrain and architecture just spreads out for miles and miles and miles in California. Gently rolling hills, just covered in multicolored little houses. I think it's quite beautiful. And again, somehow just the slight feeling of changing elevation would make something that, if it was flat, I would think of kind of as distressing or suffocating or a gigantic waste of space. But on this hill, all of those concerns go out the window for me, and I'm just like, oh, it's so serene, it's so nice. I especially like here you can see the houses form what to me kind of looks like the back of a lizard on these hills. The jagged kind of spikes. You see what I'm talking about? Here's another shot. You can see more of this like jaggedness. This was something we got to eat during a workshop we were doing for work. We were doing like a marketing positioning workshop. So this was brought in. Very delicious. Pesto, trout. This was what we had for dinner. It was like a Latin American kind of fusion place. They said everything had an Aztec flair. I don't really know what that means, but I got a chicken that had like almond and other nut type sauces and fried plantains. I really, really like the fried plantains. I'm definitely gonna see if I can find other places to order it or figure out how to make it myself. This was near where we were doing the workshop. I just thought it looked cool. They basically blew away half of this little hill here for, I don't know why. It's not like they're really using this space as far as I can tell. Why not just get rid of the whole thing? I don't know. It looks cool. This is also around that area. Building, building, building. I didn't actually see all that much construction in any of the cities I was in. I'd say below average compared to like Toronto or even Waterloo has a lot of construction going on all the time. Which, I don't know, I like seeing construction. I like seeing cranes especially. I think cranes are just super cool. But yeah, this is kind of a neat stage to see a building in. Again, just kind of around where we did the workshop. This is on our way to the next restaurant, which I took a ton of pictures at. This was that restaurant. It's called School, spelled with a K. And oh my God, was it good. Oh my God. Let's look at the food I got. This is sake. This is unfiltered sake. So you can see it's a little cloudier than normal. And it almost has like a yogurty taste. I don't really know why. I don't really know what is filtered normally that's still in here. I ordered it because a coworker ordered it, and I thought it looked pretty cool. And they said, yeah, it has this kind of yogurty flavor, so I was intrigued about that. It was really good. I really liked it. I think this is probably some of the fancier sake I've ever had, so it's like a dangerous thing to realize that you're into expensive alcohol of any sort. Sake especially, given where I am geographically, is going to be hard for me to kind of learn about and invest myself in. But yeah, I've been really impressed whenever I've splurged on sake at a restaurant, or not me splurging. The company paid for all the meals, so when sake has been splurged on, we got some oysters. These were amazing oysters. You can tell they're a little small if you compare them to like the size of the lemon, but the ratio of meat to the oyster shell is actually crazy good. It was fantastic. And this is like a yuzu mirin sake sauce that they suggested we splash on it. Mmm. Oh man. On the menu, they also had an oyster that was served with uni and ikura. And I think if I ever come back here again, that'll be on high on my list of things to try. These were enoki mushrooms, I think. That's the big one, right? Or is that the... No, that's the small one. What's the big one? I'm gonna search for big mushroom. This isn't gonna work. Not portobello's. The big Japanese mushroom. Let's... Shiitake? I don't think so. Oh, matsutake. I think it was matsutake. Yeah, I think they're... Yeah, yeah. These were really good. They were like French fries made out of the chopped up mushroom and served with this mayonnaise. Very, very good. There's a... I don't know why I included both of these. This one's a little clearer, I guess. This was a fish. I didn't end up eating any of this because one of my coworkers had to leave early. So she was like, I'm just going to eat this appetizer and go. This is what I got from my main dish. This is squid ink pasta, which I've never tried before, served with shredded radish and a bunch of shrimp and a bunch of calamari in this broth that was just undescribably good. This is honestly one of my favorite things I have ever eaten, this dish. Everything was just perfect. The squid ink is subtle. It doesn't taste really all that different than normal pasta, but it just makes it feel a little more richer, a little more like full umami type flavor in the pasta. But it was mostly the broth. Oh my God, the broth was good. And I can't tell you why. I cannot tell you what was so good about it. I just can't. It's just too good. This was uni flan that a coworker ordered, and she gave me a little scoop of it on some bread. So it's like uni. This is the jar that she got. There's ikura on top, of course. And then there was like some just uni on the top, but the rest of it is like uni blended together with, I don't know, it tasted like some sort of cream, some sort of maybe egg whites, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It was really good though. Oh my God, it was really good. Here was the, oh, I kind of regret this still. The big, I should have done it. I should have done it. It would be seen as endearing, I'm sure. It wouldn't be seen as depraved. But after she had eaten all that she wanted to eat, all that, the bread accommodated for, there was still some left in the jar. And I wanted to be like, hey, can I like scrape that out? Like the last dregs of it? But I didn't. I was too nervous. Because, I don't really know many of these people that well, at least IRL. And it was taken away, and I didn't get to eat the scraps of uni flan. Next time, next time. I was already more than happy with this. Look at how black the pasta is. That's so cool. That's because of squid ink. The squid's defense systems are harnessed in order to make this dish more delicious. Oh my gosh. This is around where I was staying for the next few days after the coworker that I was staying with went home. It's a nice little neighborhood, very San Francisco-y. Some more shots of around there. This was the hostel. This was the building above it. Just thought it looked cool. Or I guess this is all the hostel, maybe. I don't remember how many floors it had. This I saw from the Uber as we were driving somewhere. Wilson and Wilson Private Detective Agency. These things, I guess, actually exist. I feel like there's a story and a half going on here. Or maybe there was at some point. It looks pretty shut down. It looks pretty permanently closed, but yeah. I feel like I could kickstart a whole noir saga if I just kicked down that door one day. This is a shot from the Uber, of course. Doesn't look that great, but you can see, the mountains, all the houses, and then the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for some reason. What's he doing there? I don't know. More from the Uber. You can see. Sure. Big mountains. I don't know what this green thing is. I didn't even notice that before. What the heck is this? Is that... What? What is that? I don't know. Mysterious green thing. This was, we order luncheon at the office. You get free lunch every day. They just pick a restaurant and you get something delivered. So I got like a banh mi thing. Delicious. This is the view from our office. It's pretty nice, I think. You can see the mountains in the distance, all this greenery, some activity, the road. Nice balance. And then this big, gigantic apartment building. This was from the Uber again, going somewhere. You can rent an apartment there if you call that number. I should get paid for that. On Wednesday night, sorry, I'm not really, the other thing we're going to do is look at my Google Maps timeline. So that'll give you a better sense of what I actually did and when, I guess. But yeah, Wednesday night, I believe, I went to Japantown and met up with a friend of mine that lives near there. So Japantown, we were looking at in the activities video, has a whole bunch of stuff that appeals to my weeby ass. Starting with this big pagoda, which is pretty cool. A pigeon. They had a little arcade in there, which had the Evangelion pachinko machine, which I still just think is so surreal that it exists at all. Here it is. The Excite currently at 0. Too bad. For amusement purposes only. What does that even mean? Does it not pay out? Maybe it doesn't pay out. This was some like Pikachu ride, which was quite interesting because I could tell right away, just from the aesthetics of it, that it was like very old Pokemon merch. And indeed, as we investigated further, the only Gen 2 Pokemon is Togepi. So this is like a Gen 1 era relic, which is kind of neat to see, the very first innocent days of Pokemon. Pikachu looking a little chubby still. Charmander not as badassy. Mew still just like a whisper, a rumor in the wind. There it is from the front. Here I am posing with it. For scale, I guess. Big Pikachu. There's a Kinokuniya Books in Japantown, which I bought a few things at that we'll look at later. They had a ton of signboards from artists out front. I took the picture of this one, Gengoro Tagame, because a friend of mine is a huge Tagame fan. I thought he would enjoy seeing it. In retrospect, I should have just taken pictures of all of them. There's a lot of really cool ones there, but that's the only one I took. Here's a picture of the Yuri section, because I was so happy that they had an entire explicit section of English manga categorized as Yuri. You know, it was so long ago. I mean, sorry, it doesn't feel like that long ago that Girlfriends was getting localized, and I was freaking out because finally I could start reading physical Yuri in English. And now we have this whole section of English Yuri manga that contained titles I had just never even heard of. Isn't that crazy? Yuri series are getting so popular that they're getting localized, and yet I haven't even heard of them. That's how powerful this genre is today. Makes me very happy. You can see me and my friend in the reflection. Nice. We went to a restaurant after that, ordered some plum wine. I'm a huge fan of plum wine. It's so sweet and syrupy. It's kind of like ice wine, which is a Canadian delicacy, but a lot cheaper, which is nice. Ice wine is quite expensive. Then we got this modern yaki, which is like okonomiyaki, but whereas okonomiyaki would stop at like this layer, this one just keeps going, and it had all sorts of crazy stuff in it. Mine had like squid and chicken and ham, I think. I got the deluxe. I love that they pile so much ginger on top. The pickled ginger is so nice just to kind of refresh yourself while you're eating something like this. This was really tasty, but really filling. I probably only ate like half, maybe 2/3 of it, but my friend took the leftovers, so that was good. This is near my office. I just thought these plants looked cool. These plants also, they look cool. You know, I don't know. It's not so exciting, really. If you go to like a botanical garden or something, you'll see way more cool plants than this. But just the fact that they grow naturally, that they're in the places where normally I've seen the plants that would grow in this sort of context a million times over. And then you go somewhere new, and it's like all of these staples, these traditional plants have been shuffled around. It's like, ooh, that's kind of cool. All right, get used to these guys. I went to Ramen Nagi with a friend of mine in Palo Alto on Thursday. This was the order form. Thought it was a pretty cool system. So in line, it's very, very popular, very busy. So in line, they have you fill out your order form so they can start on your order like right as you're getting seated. It's pretty cool. So I got futsu, pretty much futsu across the board because I'm a normie. No, no spicy sauce though because I'm also a wimp. My friend went spicy base and then like too spicy here. He's like, it's not that spicy. It looked that spicy. It smelled that spicy. This was, while I was waiting for him, just the streets of Palo Alto, where the ramen place was. Very pretty, very nice, very serene. Feels very bubbled. Like San Francisco felt like a big city. It felt like it had all of the various income levels and demographics and nice areas and rough areas and all that stuff. Palo Alto, and to a lesser extent San Mateo, just felt like a bubble. It just felt like only tech people live here. Everyone who's here has like a salary of $100,000 or more. Yeah, I don't know. But it is, so that kind of makes me feel like it's all a little fake, but it's so nice. And the stores are so nice, and the restaurants are so nice, and everything is so pretty and serene that you're like, okay, well, I kind of get it. I see maybe why people build these sorts of places. This is the ramen I got. Oh my god, it was so good. The broth was so rich and cloudy, you know? Like tonkatsu is normally kind of homogeneous, but here it was almost like the pork bone marrow stuff like curdled. You see how it's like kind of discreetly cloudy. I don't know, but I don't know if that's actually like relevant to why it tasted so good, but it tasted so good. We got some karage as well. Oh my gosh, amazing. Just glistening. And the mayo sauce it came with was fantastic as well. Then we got ice cream. This was strawberry and some type of cake. I can't remember the type of cake, but it was really good. The place was called Salt and Straw or something. Yeah, look at that memory. Well, I guess it was only a few days ago. um, feels like so much longer. This trip really overwhelmed me with just the variety and sensory overload of experiences. The fact that I was going to work for a full work day every day, and you know, in the spirit of honesty, I was doing probably quite a bit more work than I normally do when I'm working at home. Just because when you're in the office, you're constantly around other people working. It motivates you a bit. Um, so you know, I was having these busy days at work. I was meeting with all sorts of people. I was doing all sorts of stuff, and then I would go full vacation mode the second work was over and indulge in everything I could. Sometimes to greater extents than I ever could by myself, facilitated by the company. So it was just crazy. Like it was just so all over the map that even though I was gone for a week, it honestly feels more like a month. Like it honestly feels like as long as one of the Japanese trips in terms of just like the sheer content crammed and packed inside of it. Then we went to the Stanford campus area, which again, very, very pretty. It had this sort of old world academic feeling that normally I only get seeing the really old universities in England and such. I guess Stanford itself is very, very old. But, oh, 1891. I thought it would be even older, honestly. But yeah, really, really nice area. It was getting dark, so I couldn't really take that many good pictures. We went to the Stanford Mall, which has a lot of cool fashion stores. There was a sweater, a Bloomingdale's exclusive cashmere sweater that I really wanted after seeing Eleanor on The Good Place wear it, the NBC sitcom The Good Place. So I found it. It was sold out everywhere online. I couldn't find it anywhere online. So in desperation, I was like, all right, let's go to the physical store. Maybe they have it. They did, but only in sizes that were too small for me. So very sad. I took a picture at least, just so I can be like, yeah, I found it. But then, since all these cashmere sweaters were on sale, I actually bought two other ones, but you know, we'll check those out later in the souvenir portion of this video. This was also in the Stanford Mall. Really beautiful area. I was talking to my friend about how it seemed like it was a place from a JRPG. Just the sort of decorations and stuff. It felt like it was from a modern Final Fantasy game or one of those kind of like urban fantasy games like Persona or something. I don't know, just these beautiful trellises. Back here, this is like a lit up fountain. And then all of these really luxury clothing stores just tiling the place, along with like fancy boutiques. And yeah, it's beautiful. Another shot from the Uber, just so rich and green. Just the fact that things were green. It's February. If I look outside my window, do you think I see the color green at all here in Canada? No, I just see white and gray. But here, everything stays alive the whole year. That must be so nice for trees. I wonder if they know how good they've got it. This, I think, is a video. I just wanted to kind of show what it was like going through these valleys and stuff. And when there's a break in the trees, which hopefully we'll see, you can look down into these gorgeous valleys that are just full of life and activity. Well, there's not much to see in this one, I guess. Yeah, sure. This was another thing I got at work for lunch. This is deep fried salmon with mango and cashew and veggies and these peppers that I didn't eat because, as I said, I'm a wimp. There's also some mint in here. That was really nice. But yeah, deep fried chunks of salmon. Holy crap, that's good. That's really, really tasty. I'm gonna try to make that myself sometime. This is the Caltrain. I was hoping to get a chance to ride the Caltrain, but it never really worked out. And since my company just told me to expense as many Ubers as I needed, it never really made sense to take it. But I love public transit. I love trains. I love riding the public transit of an area and kind of seeing how it works. I've heard the California stuff is like okay, not great. So I wasn't expecting to be blown away compared to like Tokyo or Europe or anything like that. But I like this big silver train. It's classic. This is around where my office is. Just a nice day out. There's the Caltrain again. I did a little wander around near our offices on Friday afternoon. These are some pictures. Thought these little succulents growing in this person's yard. It's pretty cool. Big shaggy palm trees. So I don't really get how this works. Like, are the palm trees that don't have this because someone cleaned it off? Or is it just that some palm trees grow like this and some palm trees don't? Palm trees, they're so mysterious, so iconic, so beautiful, so relaxing, somehow conveying the sense of swaying in the breeze, even when they're static, and yet so mysterious. Like, what the heck is actually going on with them? Why do they grow the way they do? It seems like such a bad strategy for gathering sunlight compared to your classic deciduous trees, or even better, the pine tree. But yeah, just slices of life in this area. Really, really beautiful day out. This was a garage that had some cool old cars. I don't know what kind of old cars. I don't know about cars. This car seemed impressive. Is this a Lamborghini? Maybe. I don't know. This was like a gardening store. I didn't know what it was at first. I just took pictures through the chain link fence, and then I realized I could just go into the store if I wanted to. This is a gigantic tree just growing in the middle of the sidewalk. Really appreciate the energy this tree gives off. An aura of fuck you. Yeah, big tree, big tree. All about it. This is the garden store again. Some pictures from the middle of the tracks. This is where the Caltrain goes, I'm pretty sure. This is kind of the shopping area I was going to. Just like the look of this block. For some reason when I took this picture, it struck me as funny. Something about the Bay Area. I just associated it with like rap. But now that I'm looking at it, it's not really that funny. It's just what it would be called. Nice labor union. Nice big functional pseudo-brutalist building. I approve. But I think that Lamborghini question mark, or I don't know, in the parking lot may cause people to be suspicious of this union. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nobody would do that. Ah! I saw this sign! Kathy, you need to rethink this. People don't like things with that abbreviation. People don't appreciate 3Ks in a row under any circumstances. Somebody should have told her no. This was really pretty apartment complex. This I took on the Uber ride again. I thought it looked cool because the moon is so clear and unblurry, and then everything else is blurry, and the color scheme I think looks nice too. So I was all about this. This is just these are definitely out of order. This is still walking around San Mateo. I love these little palm trees. They're really skinny, really tall ones. Again, it's like I don't understand like the evolutionary strategy here. I don't know why they grow like this. It doesn't seem efficient, but they're neat. They look like something out of Dr. Seuss. There was people that just had cacti growing in their front yards. That's so cool. I don't know. Probably it's boring for a lot of people, but to me that's extremely cool. I thought this plant looked neat. I think it's some sort of aloe plant, but it looks like an alien. It looks like I don't know, the flying spaghetti monster or something almost. More of these super skinny palm trees. I just don't get it. Like, isn't that really fragile too? Doesn't this only work if like nothing bad ever happens to the tree? Here you can see we're walking up towards some, getting closer. I like these shots, just looking up at them, especially with this other one kind of like poking in. I think is a neat perspective. I think if you could get it so you could see like 4 or 5, looking up at them like this, that would look really cool. This person's lawn was just all clover. Oh, I love it. They never have to mow it. It's beautiful. It's brilliant. And it looks so pretty, excuse me, and so lush. And I think it's a lot better for cultivating like insect species and stuff too than normal grass. Grass is like such a terrible thing to grow. So I had a lot of big trees. That was neat. This I love. Just this big poofy palm tree popping out the back. School. Thought it had a neat color scheme. This tree looked so ominous and creepy. I just imagined like living in this neighborhood. You know, that's what I like to do when I walk around like residential places or suburban urban places or even urban places. If I can see like an apartment building, it's like, what would it be like to live here? Like, what kind of things would be typical to me? What kind of places would I go? Like, what kind of routines and patterns and places would I have in my memory? So I thought about, you know, if I grew up in the suburb as a kid, I think this tree would terrify me. I would like refuse to walk down the street by myself. It's just so weeping. This willow is out of control. This was like a canal type thing. Just a small bridge that goes over it. You can see some palms here. I don't know, it's intense. It has a crazy lighting, I think, this picture. Very blown out and desaturated. Could make a good album cover, maybe. This was inside the Ferry Building. So we've jumped ahead quite a ways. We're in San Francisco again. And the Ferry Building just has all sorts of, like, you can see here, fruit stands, a patisserie, cake shop, all sorts of other specialty shops. There's one down here that only has mushrooms. Just every type of edible mushroom you can think of for sale there, dried, fresh, whatever. It's really cool, really nice. Very cozy sort of place. Here's me standing in it, making a very awkward pose, or non-pose, just standing. This is cool. This was the departures board for the ferry. It's super old school, hasn't been updated in quite some time technologically, because I think everyone understands the appeal of this. When it changes, all of these flip manually through the alphabet. Or not manually, but you know, like physically. Until it shows the new information. Isn't that awesome? I just love that. I just love that. The noise is so satisfying. The rhythmicness of it. I don't know, it's like some ASMR stuff for me. This was a restaurant we went to in the Ferry Building called The Slanted Door. It was like a modern Vietnamese type place. Got some spring rolls. Got some radish cakes, daikon cakes, something like that. Some ribs. Oh man, these were good ribs. Oh boy. Oh, I don't know what this is doing here. Somehow this picture got shuffled around, but this was in our office too. Our office is part of like one of those WeWork offices. So they have all sorts of like amenities and stuff. They had stuff on tap. Normally they have beer on tap. This time they just had 2 flavors of kombucha and coffee. So that was a little disappointing because I don't really like kombucha and I don't drink coffee. I was like, all right, well. But it is pretty cool. You can have coffee on tap and everything. There's coffee makers down here too, so it seems maybe a little excessive, but that's WeWork. WeWork is excessive. Here we're back at dinner. This is duck with like some stuff, kind of like a hoisin sauce and bao. You can see my friend here has made herself a bao. This was like a chicken dish, a clay oven chicken dish. Oh my gosh, amazing. This was tuna that was seared. Really, really nice tuna with like lotus root chips. So it was a tofu dish, very delicious, savory sort of sauce. It's fried rice with mushrooms. May look like innocent fried rice with mushrooms. And these mushrooms are just innocent mushrooms, but the whole thing has been cooked in truffle oil. So it has this rich, earthy, umami taste and this very fragrant, kind of like an old cheese aroma that just lingers on it. Amazing. So amazing. Even though my quest for eating real truffle, like the actual mushroom shaved, is still underway, I love this stuff with truffle oil. It's really good. It's the tuna more up close. Afterwards, we went up for ice cream in the same building, this place called Humphrey Slocombe, which I assume is like a pun, but I don't know what it means, because I guess I'm uncultured. But the ice cream was really, really good. I got passion fruit chocolate. Oh man, I could have eaten like a tub of that easily, easily. This was as we were heading back from that restaurant. So at this point I was staying with some friends, one of whom is very wealthy and was showing us like a really fantastic time. So yeah, you know, This restaurant was very expensive. I'll just say that. I have very very nice good friends. Good friends who are willing to spend money so that I can have a good time, which is really really nice. I'm very very grateful to them for showing me the time that they did. So this is the Bay Bridge. It has like this kind of light show going on. I should have taken a video or something because all of these lights are like moving and it makes it look like waves. And then every once in a while, like a silhouette of a fish will pass by. It's really cool. It's kind of the downtown area again, all lit up at night. This is, so after this, my friend has a car, so we all piled in his car, and he took us bombing around the really steep streets and the really windy streets. We were blasting K-pop, as we are wont to do. This is right at the edge of the really steep, really windy street that's in all those photographs and movies and stuff. So we drove down there. It was very exciting. This is at Twin Peaks. It's a kind of a mountain right in the middle of San Francisco. We went up there. It was really foggy, really cold, really windy. It was just super intense. We climbed to the very top of the mountain and screamed things into the wind. Just so exhilarating, so fulfilling. My friend took a picture of me. Her hands were like kind of shaking. So it got all blurry and it turned out like this. I think this just looks so cool. This makes me think I should release some like ambient drone projects and use this as the cover. This alone motivates me to make that sort of music. Just because the cover is so perfect. Look at that. It's like all of this darkness is just flowing out of my body. Whereas maybe it's getting pulled into my body. I don't know. Anyways, it was pretty cool. Then I was staying at my friend's place. And there's the room I had, which was their previous roommate's room. Looked right out onto a dog park. So I took a ton of pictures. I actually spent such a long time. I was just waiting for other people to wake up on Saturday morning. So I just sat there and watched dogs. It's so entertaining. There's just a constant flow of new people and new dogs, and all of the crazy social interactions between the dogs. And you can kind of just like follow one dog for a while, see what they're up to, see who they're interacting with, what dogs are their friends. You can usually they hang out with other dogs like in their same weight class. Then you get like rare occurrences of like, big dog, small dog play. Pretty exciting. It's like certain breeds you want to look out for, rare breeds. Ooh, Corgi spotted. Ooh, Shiba Inu spotted. Oh, it's so fun. And then trying to get like good pictures of individual dogs is really tough because they're all running around and my phone's zoom really sucks. But I felt like Pokemon Snap, to try to get good pictures. Other fun stuff was like trying to match up the dogs with their owners. Surprisingly difficult because all the dogs are so sociable and friendly. They'll just run up to random people too. Afterwards, my friend was like, "Why didn't you just go down there?" I was like, "Oh, that feels weird if I don't have a dog." She's like, "No, no, 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 no. Just go down there and say you're thinking about getting a dog, you know, and the dog owners are more than happy to tell you all about the breed and call their dog over so you can play with them." It's like, yeah, that does sound great. More dog park pictures. This dog especially. This dog is so cool. That was my favorite. I definitely saw what was up with him. Oh, look, he's so cool. So majestic. I was like, this lady's hanging out with that dog. That could have been me. I could have been friends with that dog. Yeah, lots of dogs. There's a corgi. I was trying to get good pictures of the corgi. This is such a strange looking dog. So stubby. Such a loaf. Look at all these dogs. I gotta say, the the corgi's pooping. I didn't even notice that. I was trying to get a picture of this big dog. It was just top-notch content, top-notch entertainment. I think if I pointed a webcam out this window and just streamed this dog park, I would be #1 on Twitch all day, every day. You think you can see corgis pooping like this on any other stream? No. Look at this. So cute. There's another corgi. 2 corgis, double corgi. Bonus points for that. Oh, is that corgi fetching a ball? That's worth 3,000 points. Oh yeah. It's just so many pictures. Just constant pictures. Then I went up to my wealthy friend, also had an apartment in the same building. Much, much higher floor. So this is the view from his place. Very, very nice view. I love these houses down on the water. Isn't that so cozy? to have a house that's just like in the middle of the water. It seems dangerous, but I guess I'm again assuming a much more rough and tumble world than exists in California. You know, the wave is never gonna come up and just flood you. Of course not. How could that happen? It's so serene. I love this. Out in the mist, you can see big, big shipping boats. This is some sort of former military vessel that I think is moored here. Maybe? I don't know. I couldn't quite tell what it was. Yeah, just more shots of the view. Yeah, this looks like an aircraft carrier or something. I don't know. More dog park. I think this is a video. Just look at this. Uh-oh. Oh, that's censored. No, no, you can't put that on YouTube! Ignore that, even though it's right in the middle. And enjoy other G-rated doggy activities. Wow. This dog really wants it. Oh, I remember taking this video. Ah, dogs. You gotta love dogs. Just the way they interact with each other is so funny. They just like lose interest sometimes. They just wander around. They run into each other as if by coincidence. Look at this. This is like near dog saturation, it seems like. Oh my god, I took a lot of footage of this dog park. Ah, they're having so much fun. Alright, we gotta move on. This video is already 40 minutes long and there's still like many sections left. There's some fetching, some corgis running around. Oh yeah. Okay. Then we finally left for our adventure. I shouldn't say finally. It's not like finally after all this dog stuff, we're gonna get to something else is more what I mean. But yeah, we all piled in the car, went on a little adventure. First we went to this like food truck plaza where they had these like teepees sent up for some reason. This was like on the other side of the street. So we ate at this place here, which had this breakfast sandwich that I took a blurry picture of. There's prosciutto on it. And we got an acai berry bowl, which I only got to take a picture of like halfway through. Wow, this was so good. This was so good as well. My friend also got, you know the meme about like avocado toast? That like millennials are always eating avocado toast? She actually ordered avocado toast. But it had ikura and truffle oil on it. And it wasn't even on the menu. It was like a secret menu item that she knew about called the umami bomb. So I had a bit of that too. Oh my god. The truffle oil, the ikura, the avocado, the little sprouts on top. I should have taken a picture of it. It was crazy. After that, we went to the Palace of the Fine Arts. This was built for some exposition or expo or something way, way back in the day, like the early 1900s. But it's still in really good shape. It's amazing to see buildings with this sort of architecture and this sort of style that are new and modern, not in ruins, not totally, you know, worn down over the years, but still with this very old world style. This also felt like a JRPG area. In this lake, there is some swans in it. Very beautiful, extremely beautiful area. There's this duck. I don't know why I was taking pictures of this duck. Just the sort of thing I do. Isn't that fantastic? Oh my gosh. So you're here for a little bit. Then we went elsewhere. I just thought this was a nice house. Then we went up into the mountains. So we were over like here somewhere. We went over the Golden Gate Bridge. Didn't take any pictures of that. It's hard to get like interesting pictures when you're on the bridge. And we came up here and drove up these mountains to take a look at this view. And oh my god, this view. Wow. So this is SF. Over here is like Oakland and Berkeley and stuff. Back here is like Daly City that we were looking at pictures of before. And then like San Mateo, Palo Alto, San Jose. They're all kind of piled in back here. On and on and on and on and on. It's just city after city after city. But yeah, look at this, the sailboats, the churned up water. This is Alcatraz over here. So cool. Basically identical picture. Good album building. You can see kind of the roads winding up to get here. We passed by a bunch of people, but my friend was like, these are the noob spots. If you stop here, you don't know what you're missing out on. So we parked way further up, and then we hiked a bit too to get further and further up. Big ship coming through. Here you can see just how much city there is. So this I think might be Dali City, but it just keeps going. Like that's more city, and then back there, that's more city. It's just nonstop city. This is from even further up. Amazing, just amazing views. We were so blessed with this weather. Oh my God, it was beautiful that day. Yeah, this is looking out at the ocean. You could barely even look at it. The sun was so bright, the reflection in the water was so bright. My camera doesn't capture it that well, but it was like these brightnesses were like blending together in this almost unbearable explosion of radiance and warmth and brightness and joy and it was so nice. You can see other people looking back at the trails and stuff to get up here. This was starting to turn further to the right, so the ocean picture is right there, and then the city is over on my other monitor. But you can see these big mountains endlessly. Oh, it was so beautiful. Looking down at these roads. There's like a beach over here and like a little town. It's just so romantic, so beautiful. Oh my gosh. It seems unreal that I was actually here, that I was actually taking in these views myself. Anyways, then we went to the Golden Gate Bridge Park. Some flowers. My friend is smelling the flowers, as you are wont to do. More gardens and stuff. Very pretty place. Very nice. This fountain, they were cleaning it or something, so it was full of foam. That was confusing, but fun. Ah, so pretty. So nice. Palms. Just love big palm trees. So then, this is where this museum called the De Young Museum is, a fine arts museum. They had an exhibit called Soul of a Nation. Soul of a Nation or Spirit of a Nation? Yeah, it was the Soul of the Nation. I actually really want to buy this book. It was a fantastic gallery. Absolutely fantastic gallery. The variety of the types of pieces. Well, this is sort of spoilers. We're going to look at my own pictures, the ones that I thought were worth taking pictures of. This, I guess it's a rotating exhibit, a traveling exhibit. So here it is in the Brooklyn Museum. The layout was different when we saw it. Oh man, so many cool pieces. Such amazing variety. So powerful, so moving to see. So this is a picture of Sun Ra, a jazz musician I've always been quite interested in. I thought it was a very powerful picture. I don't know. I can't really talk coherently about these too much. Like, just go see this exhibit for yourself if possible, or research it further online. I'm not going to be able to do it justice, but I just wanted to give you just kind of a sample. And like, think about the emotional whiplash of standing on top of a mountain and then about an hour later going through and looking at this stuff. It was such a wild day. Just this is the Black Panther Manifesto. Like, this is the original manifesto they put out in 1970. It's so powerful to read, my God. Like, I was almost in tears just thinking about the dedication these people had, the way they put their lives on the line for the cause, and how, in the end, their message has been... Well, I don't know. This is the thing, right? Is like, this is a celebration of struggle, of passing this torch forward, of trying to convey the depth of suffering and the great need for change. And all of this is still so necessary. So in one sense, it just feels like all of this has fallen on deaf ears, and there's this deep sense of tragedy. But in another, more hopeful sense, it's like, you know, we do have these pieces. These have all survived. These live in this gallery and travel the world so that people can see them and appreciate them and hear the message from the artists. We had the audio tour guides, and often they would actually interview the artists if they were still alive about these pieces. Oh, it's just, I don't know. And so in that sense, it feels like a triumph. that you can see these sorts of things and that they can resonate with you. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, it really ran the gambit, like um, from pieces that are here for kind of the historical significance of their creation to very powerful like sculpted pieces to mixed media artistic pieces to photography as we saw before. To like, how can you even describe this? This is just amazing. This powerful psychedelic art, things like that. It was just all over the place. And then it finished with like a lot of abstract art, which is some of my favorite to see in a museum. I think I was talking about this before, but like these sorts of pieces, more than any other, you appreciate so much better when you're there, taking in the magnitude and hugeness of them in person. This I thought was cool. This is like non-traditional sheet music. So this actually conveys a song. This is a video of the duck. I have no idea what this is here. I guess when I'm uploading these things, the videos kind of like cue later or something. Even this swan that moves so gracefully, paddling frantically underneath the surface. I think it's a type of duck. You can hear me talking to my friends. It's not a duck because it has kind of like a sharp bill. I think what I said about the swan was pretty cool. It's like a metaphor, you know? So this is outside of the De Young exhibit. It's like a little statue park and a fountain and stuff. Very pretty. Very pretty. Oh, this is a video. I took some videos of like the panorama. You can get a sense of kind of how all those pieces connect together. This is one starting from the light and panning back over to the city. Nice shaky camera work, you know? Just developing my own autorial skills. This, I guess, is painting around the mountains. Ending with the sun. Nice. Nice? I don't know. Then we went back to Japantown. There was a very, very fancy sushi place that we were trying to get into. It was fully booked. It was like an omakase place with only 7 seats. So none of us were like rationally confident we could do it, but somehow we just, the excitement of the day and the number of things that have been going well, we worked ourselves up into this fervor that we might actually be able to get a chair. No such luck, whatever. We got takoyaki instead. It was really good. We got original, and then this one with corn all over it, and green onions and mayonnaise. We got a crepe later. This was really good. You can't tell, but it's like packed full of fruit. Then we did an escape room. It was pretty cool. We did this one, the Popstars Room of Doom. The gimmick was like you're watching through the window into this pop star's apartment. There's people coming to kill him. So you just watch him die and then you go back in time. So you have to keep coming up with different things to do to try to delay his death. You see a little bit more each time and then you use the information you glean to figure out other things to do. It involves like calling into like radio stations that he's listening to, things where, so there's like an actor playing the pop star in this room, and then there's like actors playing like assassins that are looking for him, so you have to like figure out, the assassins come knocking on your door, what do you tell them? You gotta like stall them sometimes. It was really intense. It had a lot of cool shenanigans too, where like you had to lose in some loops, and to gain information by letting the pop star die, and then on the next loop you could use that information. It was really cool. We didn't beat it. We knew what to do, but they only give you 10 loops, and we figured it out on the 10th loop, the final piece of the puzzle. So we came so close, but no luck. This place had done all sorts of other crazy escape rooms. They did one based on like 999, that series. That seemed very intense. That doesn't appeal to me too much. This one really interests me. They had an Evangelion-based one. The secret nerve outpost is suddenly surrounded by hostiles. The operatives are trapped by a group of invisible angels. Suddenly a strange melody can be heard and the cryptic code comes through on Magi. As a nerve agent, you must now figure out how to escape from this mysterious place if you can. Isn't that cool? That's crazy. They also did stuff like they had one at like the baseball stadium that involved 1,000 people, 1,000 players all simultaneously. They had one that was like on one of the moored military ships, the museum ships they're called, where they're out of service. They just permanently anchor them in a spot so you can go on and explore them. They did an escape room game on there, which just sounds so cool. So yeah, I was really impressed. I'd never really done, I had done one escape room before, but it was quite basic in comparison to this. This company seems like they go super hard. I had no idea they'd gotten this elaborate. After that, we went out for sushi. Um, because we couldn't get the really fancy place. But it was nice. My first and last meal in California were sushi. This is a magazine my friend bought in Kinokuniya. This is monkfish liver. It's amazing. A delicacy I had not tried before, but I was really blown away by it. Fantastic. This is wasabi taco. It's wasabi and chunks of octopus. So the wasabi is like dissolved into some sort of octopus brine type thing, and then chunks of wasabi float, or chunks of octopus float in it, raw octopus. So apparently, based on Tokyo Tare Raba Girls, or whatever that series is called, based on a manga series I was reading, this was originally made as like a dare food that people would get drunk and then get each other to eat it. But then people just genuinely started liking it, so they put it on the menu. And it was actually pretty tasty. The wasabi taste is a lot more subtle because it's been distilled and absorbed and stuff. Anyways, it was quite good. This is the miso soup. Just really good miso soup. This was mountain potato shredded so that it's like really slimy and sticky with plum sauce on it. Very good, very good. This is our big plate of nigiri. I don't remember everything. This is sweet shrimp. This I'm pretty sure was white bream. No, wait, what's that called? Yellowjack? Yellowjack. Some scallop, some other white fish I don't recall. This is saba, the horse mackerel. Inari tofu sushi. I love it. Don't remember what these guys. Oh, that's those like long clams. I had never had that before either. What are those called? I think I took a picture of the bill. We can see the bill at the end. And then uni and ikura, of course. Oh, this is a less blurry picture. Well, whatever. Oh, we got some sake too. You can see. It was cool. They brought out the sake and then they brought out a big tray of the cups. You got to choose your own cup. Close up of the uni and the ikura. This uni was fantastic. Completely redeemed the sort of mediocre uni I had at the start of the trip. Oh yeah, this is the bill. What were they called? What don't I recognize on here? Well, tate is the hirame? What's hirame? No, that's like a fish. Yeah, that's a type of fish. But yeah, there was, what are those called? Long clam. No, not that long. Or that phallic. Pike clam. Calm. Oh gosh. They look like, no. They look like straw. No, I don't. No. Long straw clam. What? Oh my god. What is this thing called? I'd seen them before in like grocery stores. Anyways, it was pretty good. That's all I can say. What was it? Why I always take such blurry pictures? I don't know. It was one of these things. Anyways, that was a fantastic meal too. This is a penguin that my friend had. I thought it was cute. This was, now we're nearing the end. We're coming up to an hour, but we're almost through these pictures at last. A statue in the airport by Yayoi Kusama, who does all of those dot things and the infinity mirrors stuff. I really like her work. I think it's quite exciting. This one is called High Heels for Going to Heaven. And if you want to read this, you can pause the video, but we gotta keep moving. Then in the airport, I ate fried chicken and waffles. And on the airplane, I had 8 consecutive dealerships on the Mahjong game. Hooray for me! And then I won. So that was good too. Yay. Hooray for me! That's the end of the album! What a good finish. Yeah, so I had a pretty fantastic time. Getting home, a lot of stuff went wrong. I don't even want to talk about it. I had a very exhausting trip home. But now, going back through this, so at first that excruciating experience kind of soured it. But what am I thinking? This was a fantastic trip. I was in the lap of luxury the entire time. I had such a range and diversity of experiences. Also powerful, also meaningful, also delicious. I wanted to look at my timeline quick. So this is the day I flew out. We went from Toronto to O'Hare in Chicago, and then into SFO. And then from the airport, we went up into Dali City. That's where the Airbnb was. On Monday, we went from the Airbnb to where the workshop was. Then out for dinner. Tuesday, same thing, and then I went to the hostel where I was staying. This is that school restaurant, which was so amazing. Then I started commuting down to the office in San Mateo. So here you can see I went in, I went back, and then, whoa, I wandered around Japantown for a while. In and around here. Not super accurate. There was a lot more in and out and stuff, but yeah. Then I went down to Palo Alto. That's where I went shopping with a friend. And the shopping center, around some parks. The ramen place. Really good. I love this feature in Google Maps. I'm so glad this exists. Then back up to San Francisco. This day we went, this is when I like wandered around San Mateo a little bit. And then I went back to my friend's place. We went up to the ferry building. And then this is where we were driving around all the really steep streets up to, this doesn't look accurate, but we went up to Twin Peaks. Oh, I guess, yeah, here. We went up to Twin Peaks. Looked out onto the city. Cool. Here, this is the big, exciting adventure day. So we left the apartments. We went to this food truck place, then we went up to Palace of the Fine Arts, up into the mountains, down to this park, back over to Japantown, then the escape room, then the other restaurant, and then finally back home. And then on Sunday, I went home to LAX, then to DFW for some reason. Just shoutouts to David Foster Wallace. I wonder if it recorded this. So my flight to here was delayed. And because of that, my time for the transfer was like really, really short. So we landed in like this terminal, and I knew my connecting flight was like this terminal. And there's this like train that goes around to take you from terminal to terminal. But I was like, I don't know how often that's going to come. I don't know how long that's going to take or how out of the way it is. So I'm just going to bet on myself. You know, I go running. I'm a runner. I'm just going to run. So I ran from like here to here, which I don't know if we can get a good sense of scale, but it was really far. I was running for like a solid 15 minutes or so. And then running all that way and just getting on a plane and sitting perfectly still is not good. It's not good. But this flight is surprisingly short. It's the exact length of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the new Quentin Tarantino movie. Because I watched it the whole way, and it was finishing just as I was touching down. Now here's something alarming. I land, and then I go to the Comfort Inn. Sure. But I go from the Comfort Inn. Oh, wait. Oh, this is kind of broken. But I go from the Comfort Inn to Hotel Carlingview. Why? Why would I do that? Well, it's because the Comfort Inn didn't have my reservation. Even though I had booked it, and I had an email, I had a reservation number, I had all of this confirmation stuff, they just didn't have it. Oh, it was so confusing. It was so frustrating. The person working there was really confused too. Like, it was just something totally bizarre and beyond the pale happened. But rip, I had to Uber from hotel to hotel, like some total insane person. But yeah, we did it. We made it home. That was it. That was my adventure. So in another video, I'll talk about the stuff I bought and some of the snacks I got in Japantown. I bought a ton of Japanese candy and stuff. So I'm looking forward to trying that. We will do that together next time. Bye-bye for now. I hope you enjoyed reliving this trip with me. I certainly had a great time, and I hope you enjoyed this representation of the experience. Okay, that's all. Bye-bye.